what I really admired and felt that we haven't acknowledged is the fact of how these women and us also in our homes. Uh, Let me give you an example instead of trying to make it theoretical. See, there was a couple with, they had a bit of land. Now, he wanted to sell the land and go and try and get a job. She said, keep it for the children, uh, who were not particularly interested in the land, but she felt it's some solid thing there for them. And after a lot of argument, she felt he was coming round, so she dropped the subject. She dropped the subject, and 2 weeks later, he came and said, I have an idea, he said. I think we'll keep the land for the children. So he took her idea, and she didn't say, that's my idea. Like often women or men say, I've told you so. I said so before. She didn't do any of that. She just left it. It was his idea. And it happened. What she wanted happened. And she didn't have to claim that it was her patent. That happened again and again, okay, over various cases. That was one thing. So I was thinking how even in a home, in a middle class home, you do the same thing. For instance, all the children come to the mother to say, ask daddy what he can do. But you only approach daddy when he's in a good mood. You've given him his tea, you've given him his paper, and then you moot whatever it is and withdraw if it's not going to work this time. So that kind of thing is in the genes, I think, for women so far. Feminism in the West was confrontational. This was different. And that I learned mostly with the village women. Now, there was another thing that which I really admired. They didn't want to make fools of their men. Now, for instance, they were all given mobile phones because they may be called any minute, some emergency. She taught her son how to use the phone while her husband was sitting by there reading a paper, so that he knew exactly how to use the phone without being taught. Then another similar thing, sometimes they came back at 12 and 1 at night, and they said, we know how to go home from the bus station or train station. But we'd ring up and tell our husbands to pick us up, because then he felt he was in charge, Things like that. Or he got her back a dirty blouse piece which she didn't like, but she made the blouse because he'd got her the blouse piece. And she got him a shirt when he'd come to these are different she's. Got him a nice shirt when he came to the office, to the Malesa Makhe office, because said, you must look good when you come to my office. The whole point of all this, when we try to analyze it and talk to them about it, is I don't want him to feel small. He's my Taj, some of them would say. And why should I make him feel small? He'll take it out on me only. So I like to make him feel he's in his position. But I couldn't get what it would feel, what the husband felt when I'm earning more than him. Now, in a middle class family, that's no. You can't earn more than your husband. It creates problems. But among them, I'm not sure that it did create a problem. The husbands were very proud of their wives when they were solving little village fights, and they were settling them without going to court or without going to the local old men. And that gave them a lot of prestige in the community, which reflected on the husband also. So he would also be looked upon as something, slightly better than normal. So all this, these women maneuvered. And that's a thing which I think we are not recognizing, this particular quality of women, which maybe we're losing. certainly the early days of feminism, one copied the West. At least this is my perception. It may not be all over. And in Delhi, one would do various protests, etc. And it was confrontational. I'll tell you a case what happened. A number of times this happened. A woman wants to get away from her husband because he's beating her or because he won't give her back her dowry, etc. Then there's some women's group which will go there and fight it out and bring the woman away to the office and give her a job there. Okay, then you go to court and fight for her dowry and all that. Okay, all of which is strenuous stuff. Then she would one day run away and go back to her husband. And it's very difficult for the woman who's been fighting for the middle class woman not to show her disapproval of that. But in actual fact, what has happened is that she has moved from a patriarchy to a matriarchy. Because now approval has to come from these women. And it's not her mahal. She's not comfy here. There, even if he's beating her, I mean, not beating her to not the extreme. If he's there, she chats this side, that side. People know what's happening. She's shouting whenever. It's her mahal. This struck me when I brought my mother to Bangalore after my father died. Because we were two sisters, we could look after her. But her mahal of bargaining with the vegetable chap, knowing the shop, ringing them up saying, send me this, and of course a doctor, the major thing. But not here. She died within months of coming here. She just couldn't take it. Even though we'd got her a flat, but she fell ill before she could move in there. Initially, we used to think in very broad terms that we're going to lift all women and fight for that. And all of us would be together for that. And we'd take out various marches, and March 8th, etc. was important. That was then. Then I think it slowly changed to different groups of women. Say if you're shopkeepers or if you're nurses, people started demanding the rights of their particular career, of their particular occupation. For us, earlier, it was a much wider thing. It was all of womanhood. I mean, we had grandiose ideas about it. At that time, that revved up our adrenaline. But later on, I think younger women, meaning the ones who are middle-aged now, they said, now enough of you all. This is what we want. And this was more particular. It's, if you're a whole group of, say, shop girls or garment weavers, whatever, or Anganwadi workers, there was a specific demand you're making, not a theoretical whatnot. And that was more motivating for them than this wider thing. And somewhere, I suppose, one followed the West quite a bit, because that's where it started. My basis for feminism was a book called The Golden Notebook by Doris Lessing, which I think a lot of women which was a gentler feminism, where, like the women in the villages, you didn't do men down as much as later. We wouldn't have dreamt of doing a Me Too. Even now, there are people like me and a few others who feel it's too extreme. Because what we are doing now, I think, which I'd be stamped upon, I'm sure, but, when that man in the office, at workplace, has harassed me, has not raped me, but has harassed me, touched me at various places, etc., I have not complained then. I couldn't. I didn't have the courage, and I didn't have the group with me. I was alone. So I didn't protest then. But now, 20 years later, I'm protesting about it. Now, when I didn't protest then, I let that man think that this is okay. I can keep doing it. This is what women are here for. I have not tried to change his mind about it, and nor has he caught up. Why should he give up power? He's got that power. Why should he give it up? Accepting now when he's realizing, and I doubt very many men are feminists, because it means giving up X amount of power. It's not, this all equality business is easy for women because we are getting power. We're getting some rights. But for a man, he's giving it up. So why should he? Especially when I have confirmed it's okay for him to pinch me 20 years back. So now I think there should be a more balanced thing. But I mean, they're half of humanity, damn it. You are half of humanity, in other words. And why should we humiliate them? Agreed, we've been humiliated. Okay, but why this eye for an eye, tu me business? Which I think some people are coming round to that idea. But again, that's a confrontational thing. Why? So I'm ambiguous about that. I feel it is necessary for women to get together to be able to get the courage to fight this harassment business. But is there some other way of doing it?